Good afternoon, I'm TheZOMBIEJ. This is my iPad. And this is the prototype Makuta. Well, okay, it's what looks to be a 3D render or something of a prototype Makuta. So the story behind this apparently is that when Mask of Light was being done, they needed to obviously have Makuta in the film, and well, the designers at LEGO decided to send them this prototype, which, judging by this one, okay, the legs are similar to the retail copy, the retail model, but at the same time, he had different legs, and they needed a 3D. They needed a reference for the 3D model in the movie, and thus shout out this, obviously with different legs. Now there was an eBay listing out there of parts for a prototype Makuta, including the staff and a broken, what looked to be a prototype for the. It was basically the Pakari and the Mask of Time, the Vahi, basically glued together to basically what was the Krakon in Mask of Light. Okay, so this is getting awkward. So that listing has since been dissolved. It's disappeared, and all we got was pictures and whatnot showing off, the parts, the different assemblies. Typically, prototypes don't stick around at a company's storage for a long time. They just, for the most part, either trash them or, in some cases, sell them, I guess. But in this case, somehow it ended up on eBay, somehow it was sold, and that's the last we heard. So, based on this prototype, based on this image right here that I found, it looked like the staff of Shadows was meant to have this, like, scythe-like thing, and he has different fingers, the arms are built like it. Basically, this is what you see in the film, obviously with some minor modifications to make it kind of coerce with the rest of the characters in the thing. So, for the longest time, we didn't know what the Krakon in Mask of Light was supposed to reflect in the product that we got for $20. Well, LEGO fooled us. Apparently, it was just a Pakari on top with a Vahi on the front, which is okay. That's a interesting combination. So, looking at this prototype, it definitely looks like what you see in the movie. Obviously, again, the movie kind of takes the animators had to like digitally move some shit around and kind of configure it weirdly. There's definitely similarities to this prototype. At the time Mask of Light was being done, the Makuta set was still being worked on, so they obviously did some weird shit to kind of, they gave the creators of Mask of Light this prototype to put in the render, and for the retail, we all know we got Makuta. It's definitely different from this, although the legs on this are just a variation of the legs. There's a much more chicken-legged system. This is definitely an interesting thing because, it definitely looks top-heavy. Based on other videos I've watched, like Brick Thumb, check out his video on the prototype Makuta. You can actually build this prototype with parts they have. The only thing is you have to have a Vahi and a Pakari, which should be pretty easy to supply, and you got to meld those together at these segments. And there you have this. So I just think it's funny that all these years we didn't know that was exactly what the movie. Here's the concept art was. The movie version was looking at these two side by side, it's just kind of weird, you know. So there was definitely some stability problems with the actual legs of this and not these legs on this. So you know, the little ball joint pieces, you have those stick on and then it would come off. Obviously, you could replace those with the ball joints that have the plus all the way through, and there you go. Obviously, this is something that I'm not willing to put any time into building, because I don't have enough parts. I don't have the parts. I don't really care too much. At the end of the day, it is what it is. And it's just an interesting piece of history. So, interesting piece of Lego and Bionicle history. And it was one of those mysteries that we've been hoping to solve for a while. And what kind of makes me wonder is, why wasn't this discovered? It's like, why wasn't this talked about in why didn't this prototype show up earlier? I think it showed up sometime late last year. People were started making videos on it and tried to replicate the prototype. It's definitely an interesting thing, you know. I think that this prototype could have been a decent purchase if it was an actual full-on retail release. But honestly, I think the retail version has better stability and better stuff about it. I like the version of the Crocon we got instead of the the prototype's heavy use of just a standard Pakari and a Vahi, basically melding those together, and what you see is what you get. Now, there's obviously 3D printed versions of that on a Shapeways or whatever. You get the movie version of the Crocon, which is just, again, a Pakari and a Vahi. It's just so perplexing. Why put those two masks together and pass that off as a Crocon? I don't know. I don't know the logic behind that, but hey, it was a prototype, so prototypes tend to be weird and just out of this world type of things. So prototypes in general tend to be weird and out of this world type of things. So yeah, the Makuta prototype was definitely something. I was always wondering why he looked so different in the movie compared to the toy. Now, obviously, because it's a fucking animated film, they had to make him different from the toy in general. But we didn't know this was. We didn't know we were going to be perplexed by the whole finding out about this thing actually coming to light. You know. So I feel like that the Makuta prototype, it's just another another thing for us to kind of scratch our heads about and wondering, why wasn't this revealed earlier, you know? So I found out about it earlier, like in January or something, I think. And I think actually news on this came out even before then, like late last year or something like that. I don't fucking remember. But yeah, the Makuta prototype looks pretty cool, honestly. With the he's obviously at full scale. He's bigger. and he looks cooler, to be honest, than the version we got, which just uses 2 silver evokies for his hands. Yeah, nice job, Lego designers. You definitely kind of got the point across with those. Honestly, I prefer the retail version of Makuta Pterodax because, well, it definitely makes things a little easier. It has better balance, stability. You can do a lot of interesting things. He is shorter than he should be. He's not a particularly imposing Makuta Pterodax, but look at fucking Ultimate Duma over there, and yeah, that's basically Makuta Pterodax taking a giant weird combiner form. But yeah, what are y'all's thoughts on this? I'm sure people have already expressed concerns and whatnot, and kind of lamenting at the fact that this prototype was used for the film instead of, you know, the retail version being used for the film. Well, the retail version was still being developed. That's the thing. So, it is what it is at the end of the day, so there you go. So at the end of the day, really, was this as big of a deal as we would like to think it is? Honestly, I think people were making a little too much out of this prototype, but at the same time, it's nice to see another piece of Bionicle history, and Lego history in general, come to, well, light. Yeah, so it's nice to have some more history uncovered, and the discovery of this prototype. Now, if other prototypes out there were discovered and not trashed, then there might be some interesting things going on, like the the Toa Inika prototypes. Joller's mask looks freaking awesome. Looks like Zurg from the Toy Story 2 film, I think is what was going on, if I can remember. That just reminds me of Zurg for some reason. I think it was his name. But it's red. So, and I love that sword too. The Inika Joller sword prototype. That looks fucking awesome. And I've seen 3D prints. 3D models of that. You could print it through using a 3D printer. What would be nice if that was not made out of filament and it was made out of ABS plastic. Whatever. So, there you go. The discussion is now upon you guys. You guys and gals in the comment section below. Let's talk about prototypes and whatnot, okay? What was your reaction to the discovery of the Makuta 2003 prototype? Was it something that you were scratching your head about over the years as well, or was this something that you just kind of don't really care about? Because honestly, at the end of the day, it's just, you know, another piece of history that we thought was lost to time, but ended up coming to surface. So, thank you all for watching. I'll have more videos out for y'all tomorrow, and the next day, and the day after that, and yeah. Stay tuned for more videos. I am TheZOMBIEJ. I'll see you folks later, and have a good fucking day, and peace.